welcome back, everyone. And if this is your first time with us, welcome.
Welcome.
My name is Chris,
I'm Greg.
and this is our delight to be able to spend some time with you guys.
We received from our last video, mostly from the last video that we did, lots of wonderful comments, a lot of support, a lot of love,
Yeah,
which really touched my heart.
yeah,
And it was affirming in that maybe we have something to say that will be of use and will be nourishment in some real practical way for you.
obviously something that we did touched you guys. So
I think it was the comedic stuff.
No.
Well, let's hope,
Yeah.
hopefully it wasn't just
that. Yeah, we don't want it to be just comedy.
Yeah.
We didn't rehearse anything. Just so you know, we didn't rehearse anything. It was just spontaneous in the moment. And that's, if any humor's going to show up, that's the way we would like it to show up. It's just spontaneous.
Yeah, and we give ourselves permission to do that because in a lot of ways, I mean, that's kind of the way that's the way we are. We very much will banter between ourselves, but mostly when there are other people involved, because it can be disarming, and because right now, oh my God, I mean, the energies coming in
Yeah.
are still incredibly intense.
Yeah.
The wave or the galactic flash of light, it's not over. I think there was probably the idea that it might be just a quick flash, but I really don't think so. There's something in my gut that tells me that this is ongoing.
Yeah.
My ears are still ringing. The head is still activated. Feel anxiety. Can't sleep very well.
I haven't slept well in days, actually.
Yeah, but that's all okay. That's all part of the process.
Yeah. So basically, because we've been through a bit of this for a while, as we mentioned, we've done various things along the way, and we've been kind of dealing increasingly with these energies. And for people who aren't accustomed to this or aren't used to it, it's probably going to be useful for somebody with our stature and our old age
Yeah.
to share with you guys some of our experience. So
Yeah.
one of the things that really was amazing about this is that March 22nd was the day that last video with the tinfoil hat thing aired. That was our birthday.
Yeah.
And that night...
67.
67, yeah. Jeez.
Starting 68, obviously.
Crazy. It's like-
How'd that happen?
Yeah, how'd that happen? Sometimes, man, we'll sit around talking sometimes, and we'll be watching a movie on TV or something, and say, when did that movie come out? We'll look at it and go, holy cow. It's like, man, what happened to the last 30 years or 35 years or whatever?
Yeah, and so what it also emphasizes is take advantage of your present right now, because it goes so fast.
Yeah. This is an incredible time. I don't need to tell you that. This is an amazing time. This morning I got up and one of the things I like to do in the morning, one that we both share this actually, is we'll sit down, have an apple, and soak our feet in salt water. It's one of those kind of grounding, healing kind of things.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm feeling the anxiety and I'm feeling all kinds of stuff coming up and thinking, yep, this is the time to offer something to the world. To let everybody know that we don't have to be pushed around by or controlled by what's going on.
Yep. And
So-
and I'll bet that what we're feeling, we're not by ourselves in this,
No.
obviously, and
Yeah.
we see that on the Higher Self channel frequently. There are a lot of people addressing what's going on, but we wanted to do it in our own way.
Yeah.
And obviously, like we said, after the last video, we received a lot of really good comments, some amazing things. There are made a couple notes here, a few things we'd like to specifically address about some of the comments. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I just want to say, finish my thought. It's like I lost my train of thought there, which probably is
It
a result
happens.
of all the gray hair. You know what gray hair is, right? It's your gray matter that's seeping out of your head into your hair, and it's like that's why you forget and that kind of thing. Anyway, so on the 22nd of March,
Right.
which is really cool because our birthday is on like the solstice, which is really cool. And then there was a supermoon, and then all this energy.
Yeah.
So having a rough night, all of that, waking up and seeing the responses from you guys, what a gift that was. What a birthday gift that was.
An awesome,
It was an
awesome
yeah.
birthday present.
Yeah.
And we were both commenting, it was probably like the best we've ever had. So
yeah,
to all of you,
and not making that up. That's for real.
Yeah, for real. And to all of you who did that, wow, you guys are amazing.
Because it wasn't just fluff or just words. You could feel it was coming from the heart.
Yep.
We could feel
Yeah.
the heart substance in it,
Yeah.
and it touched us. It was really awesome.
And that's what this world needs.
Yeah.
It needs that. It needs that real synergy where, and most importantly, love is shared.
Yeah.
So
And love can take so many amazing things. A really practical,
So
take
much-
different forms. Really practical forms like appreciation, like thank you, like holding the door for someone who needs the assistance,
Yeah.
or picking up a package for someone who drops something, or waving at somebody who stopped for you when you're crossing the street walking and somebody is yielding to you. It's like acknowledge their generosity and their gift. Let them know that you appreciate it. That's actually love. Those are actual tangible forms of love.
So and it brings up another thought that I've had is, and so many of us, we're always looking. It's a habit.
Yeah.
We want to be loved.
Yeah.
We want to feel loved.
That's why we're doing this video, so that we can get all
your love. That's what we need. Yeah. So it's all self-centered on our parts.
Yeah.
But we do tend to want to be loved or receive love. But the only way to know love
Yeah.
is to give it.
To give it.
And then you do have the experience of love. There's a song, I think it's Moody Blues, but I don't hold me to that. I'm not really sure. But there's one part of the song where they say, all the love that you've been given was always meant for you.
Yeah.
So it's by giving love that we know love. It's wonderful to be loved by people. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. And it's wonderful to receive your amazing blessings. But I'll bet when you were writing those, the feeling you were having when you were offering that was the amazing thing.
Yeah.
That's the amazing thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the other thing I wanted to point out is that in line with that is that we offered our love into the world through that video. You offered your love back in response to us. That very thing happening of us offering and you offering something back, that's a current of love. And in the midst of those two poles, the two beings, me and you, and between you, and is light.
Light.
And that light actually is filling the world. It's not some pointless act. It actually is light being magnified in the world.
Yeah.
So that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. So there are a couple. We want to just address a couple of the points that were made by some of you. And let's see. One of the questions that was asked was Chris in one of the videos. This guy Chris was mentioning that we'd done some therapy. Substantial therapy, and did it for 2.5 years every week.
Yeah.
Amazing experience.
Yeah.
And it was with a woman named Mary Ann.
Wonderful woman.
Won't say what her last name is.
Wonderful woman.
Wonderful woman. What a blessing. And so the question came was that a QHHT session?
Nope.
And no, it was not. No, it was not, but it was incredible. And the QHHT thing, it sounds pretty interesting. There's Allison Coe is somebody who I have, and I think my brother, you have too, looked at some of her stuff. And there's, who else? There's Spooner.
Yeah, Spooner.
Somebody was, last name Spooner, did one. It was amazing stuff. So anyway, no, it wasn't that, but that's interesting stuff. Another question was, on the tinfoil hats, we're not going to do that again. I mean, that was
Well, you
awesome.
can
I mean,
never rule that out.
Well, that's yeah. Maybe we'll wear suits.
God forbid.
Yeah. So the question about the hats was, does it help hair growth? And obviously, it does not.
No,
Um,
no. But it did make me aware. Thank you for your comment, by the way.
Yeah.
It made me aware of how little hair I do have on the top of my head since I was watching the video and I was like, oh my God, I don't have much hair. Of course, I did cut it pretty short recently.
yeah, so did I.
But
And you see that shine right there? That's because there's no hair up there.
yeah, so.
Somebody commented about the scarab here. They want it. You can't have it. I mean, it's an awesome piece. It's for real. It came from Egypt.
Yeah.
Made by tent makers. It's made out of Egyptian cotton.
We had somebody look at it and they said they thought that's what it was, Egyptian
Well,
tent
yeah,
makers.
right. Yeah.
But our personal little story is it comes from the era of
King Tut.
King
Or
Tutankhamun.
yeah.
Tutankhamun. It was
It was in his living room.
it was his favorite piece, and
Yeah.
it was buried with him in this sarcophagus. And it was like we were, that's our story. So,
Yeah,
and we're sticking to it.
Yeah. So anyway. So let's see. The other one that came was we addressed something about older folks working with these energies and being aware of it and all that. And we received some comments from some of you who are older, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
And so we older people hopefully will have something useful that can for the people who are younger who have not come further along the way along the way as much as we have.
Yeah, and what I want to say about the older thing is, just because your body's older, that doesn't define who I am.
No.
It's your attitude. We're eternal. We're eternal beings. We're not these bodies. We're not these vehicles of incarnation. So I encourage everyone who has the gray hair that gives evidence of longer years on earth to embrace the fact, embrace it fully, that you are not that body and that you do not have to be defined by your stiff joints and your pain and your wrinkles and your gray hair and your sagging skin and all of the poor eyesight and the bad hearing. Oh, I shouldn't talk
I'm
too much.
starting to feel like oh, dude.
Yeah, so no, we're not defined by that stuff, and it's the spirit. It's who we are. We're eternal beings.
That's right.
Yeah.
So another one. Passing through the solar flash was a question. How are you doing after passing through? It's not over.
I don't think it's over.
I don't think it's over.
Not even close.
So
Can I
to
use
answer?
show that little graph thing I was talking about?
Oh yeah.
This has been our experience, and I'll bet you it's pretty close to yours. Let's say your very first, use your memory here. Your very first experience of the first waves of energy probably felt like a big deal. And then there's a tendency to feel like, oh, it dropped off, things have calmed down, and then, oh, there's another one. I think that what it is that it
I think you should do it the other way.
okay. So I'm going to do it like this.
So do it that direction.
Okay.
Because
All right.
actually, see, you're looking at it from
Your perspective.
From your perspective, right? And so we're doing a graph, but it's the graph. We're looking at the graph from our side. We want to do the graph so it's from your
I'm
side.
going to do a multi-dimensional graph. Okay. So it's like there's a step up of energy and it goes along. It doesn't drop off. I think it just plateaus.
So while he's doing that, I'm going to start.
Okay. Because he thinks he's ahead of me.
Yeah.
So I think we just get used to the energy. I don't think it drops off. I think we get used to or accustomed to that level of energy, and then it jumps up again, and then we get used to it. It jumps up again, we get used to it. And I don't think that stairway, that ramping up, is going to stop anytime soon.
That's why it's called ascension. It's the moving up, right? We're moving up vibrationally, so there won't be a stopping point, and there probably never will be.
Yeah, get used to it.
Yeah, so let's get used to it. And I think probably it seems like a big deal to us now because we've been living in a paradigm for quite some time on this planet where things have been dumbed down, and it's been this repetitive experience, keeping everything at the lower three chakras.
Jammed into the lower three chakras.
So when the other higher vibrations of our makeup are coming online, it's sure it's going to create a little bit of discomfort in our capacities, emotionally, specifically, but it shows up in other ways too. So it's ascension.
Yep.
So
yeah, and we're not, again, emphasizing, we're not leaving here and getting into the fifth dimension. The higher dimensions are coming into our experience here. And so the three-dimensional world is like a container or a receptacle. It receives all the levels of creation. That's what's the amazing thing about the three-dimensional world. It is a home for all of the higher dimensions. And we're not going somewhere else. We're welcoming the higher dimensions into our world here.
And that is so contrary to the way we've all been functioning. We've been thinking we've got to get into heaven somehow. No, we have to let the higher aspects of ourselves into the earth.
Yep. It's one of those things that happens with the three-dimensional world is because we've been so closed off in our experience from the higher dimensions that we have gone crazy in the three dimensions trying to make everything in the three-dimensional world satisfy what only can be satisfied by all the higher dimensions coming into this place.
Now that seems like crazy talk.
It's true though.
To people who aren't beginning to experience the higher vibration, the higher levels of their own consciousness, but it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true. So that's why the world's a mess right now, is because we're pillaging Gaia, trying to satisfy everything with the newest car or the newest TV or going shopping for the latest clothes or the shoes or whatever.
It's so unfair to her.
So unfair to this dimension, and this dimension can never fulfill that. So
and yet the round, it's over and over and over. We keep doing the same thing, thinking it's going to bring fulfillment. Buy the new car, like you're saying. Get the next new thing, the new phone, the new computer, the new house, the new girlfriend, the new boyfriend. Get rid of your wife, and get rid of your husband. And finally, when your kids go, anyway, so you can go on and on and on, but that old round is never, ever going to bring fulfillment. You can't make it all happen right there.
So when you start to experience the higher dimensions, pretty soon your perspective and your priorities about the three-dimensional world change.
And one of the ways they change that I'm finding, and I think I can speak for you too, when those higher dimensions begin to manifest in your life, I mean, for real, you start not feeling, or you start questioning, why do I need a new phone? Why do I want a new computer? Why do I think I need the new flat screen? Why do I need a new car? And why do I think I need all kinds of money? And things begin to simplify.
Yeah.
And it's a real freeing kind of an experience that you can live a simple life, and it's so contrary to what is the hypnotic way of living that everybody's been involved in.
Yeah, and the hypnosis. Talk about hypnosis. Television constantly is, if you spend, and I'm going to guess that a lot of people who are watching this don't watch a lot of TV.
Probably not.
But if you do, you might think about this. You sit down in front of those things and they're hypnotizing you. They're programming your subconscious over and over and over and over. And by the way, the people who are doing it, they want to do it. That's why they're doing it. And they're controlling people by reason of that.
Yep.
It happens in television, it happens in movies, it happens in the music industry, it happens in printed material, it's happening online, it's happening with video games, it's happening in so many ways where we're being conditioned to approach our lives and think that our fulfillment and our meaning is through certain avenues and certain things that are available. Here are your choices, here's the menu, you can choose from these things. But it's all, by the way, in just the three-dimensional world.
And most of us just go marching along, okay, you tell me what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's a lie. Think about this, like what you just reminded me of. Think about this. Think about the music industry. Think about movies. Think about video games. Think about pretty much everything that we currently do on this planet. And think of it from the lower three chakras. And you'll realize that it's all based in the lower three chakras.
And those being the controlling factors in our lives. And the higher level chakras, the higher levels of consciousness are basically not welcomed into this world. So you'll lose friends, you'll lose associates.
Yep.
Um,
Well, that's not to scare you, but
No,
I mean,
you
you probably have already started to find that.
yeah. So anyway, maybe that's enough
No,
about
well,
that.
okay, so we have one more thing to address. This is the most important.
Have we already done all of this?
Yeah, well, it's a, yeah, well, there's, well, Chris was addressing that there's a community of people, which obviously you're a part, and that I think he mentioned the number 144,000. That's some, you hear that in the Bible, whatever. And we got a reply from somebody, and they said, no, it's in the millions, and it's like, yeah, that's awesome, right? Because that's really the truth of it, and it's growing.
Yeah. Oh, and so that reminds me of a comment someone else made, and that is, you just boop, it's gone.
It's gone.
That's nutty.
I'll bet none of you have that happen, right?
Oh, okay. So
Especially-
here's another one. I thought of a new one to replace it. Someone said something about, tell me that I'm not going to have to live this life again. No, you won't. Creator never repeats what is done, ever.
No sequels.
There are no sequels. Things may look the same, but nothing is ever repeated.
No sequels, but this also goes back to the whole lower three chakra thing. Human beings keep trying to make sequels, thinking by doing the same thing over and over and over, it's going to be new again.
And what's the definition of insanity?
Yeah.
Doing the same thing
Yeah.
over and over and expecting different results.
And
So-
you know how they always say, or they, who are they? I'm saying it right now, so I'm the they. That everything under the sun's already happened, right? There's nothing new under the sun. Just wait a while, and fashions will go back to the way they were before. It's because it's the same old round in the lower three chakras, and each time the older style fashions come back, the young people, which I used to be, and I went through this, you think, oh, this is all new.
Yeah.
And you just ask the older folks, and they'll say, no, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
There's nothing new under the sun. So to
So
answer the
that
question,
staying stuck in the lower three chakras, so we can actually come out of that.
so I was going to just say one other thing is, hopefully by reason of making the statements or the perspective, making the perspective known, that you take your consciousness with you. That's true. And you don't have to incarnate into the same experience again if you're willing to change your consciousness.
Yep.
So it's really, the onus is on us and what we're willing to do.
Yep.
You want to change the future? You want to change the past, by the way. You want to we can get into that conversation someday.
Yeah, well,
about,
we could even
about
open it.
timelines and things and how you can change the past and the future. We have that power.
Well, for instance, like doing therapy.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody has to do therapy. But if you're really doing your personal work, you are changing the past.
Yeah.
I know it sounds really strange, especially for those of us who have been stuck in the third dimension, thinking that time, the way we think of it, it's mostly a three-dimensional sort of thing. It goes from here to here. Which way does time go?
Yeah.
That's a question.
It goes that way.
Does it go from north to south, east to west,
Or
up, down, in, out? Which way does it go? And so when you do your personal work, when you're actually changing your consciousness, which is transmutation, not transformation. Transformation is willpower, and it doesn't last. Transmutation can never be changed back to what it was. But when you really do your work, you change the past. For instance, like a timeline, I was thinking about this. My father was raised a certain way, and then he raised me a certain way, and my brother and my sister and all of that.
Am I your brother?
Well, yeah.
You can just call me you.
Yeah. So my dad, God bless him, he's not here anymore, but he didn't really do his personal work.
No, he was a really, really deeply, profoundly wounded
He didn't
person.
do his personal work,
No.
and so that, if you want to call it a timeline, was then passed on to both of us. And I suppose you could say, if I didn't do anything about it, then that timeline continues. But we changed it, to a great extent.
Oh, huge.
So I think I can't prove this, but I think by doing your personal work, you change the timeline for everyone who came before it in that timeline, and they don't have to do it again. It sounds pretty amazing. I can't prove it.
Yeah, and you're definitely changing the future.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
You're changing the future, by the way, not just for yourself. You've changed the future for everything.
The whole cosmos.
Everything in the cosmos. The whole paradigm has shifted when we change, when we have profound, authentic paradigm changes in our lives where it's the transmutational thing. You change the whole cosmos. You've changed the future for the cosmos.
Well, think about how that works, because using you as an example, you did your therapy. I'm somebody you don't know, right? So if you didn't do your work, then when you met me and there's an interchange, I would be relating to you in a certain way.
Yeah.
But because you changed that timeline, then when I meet you, I have to change the way I interact with you.
Right.
That whole dynamic is completely different. So it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
We shouldn't downplay how important this really is.
Yep. So that's another underscoring the significance of doing your work and talking about empowering yourself and the ability to identify yourself clearly as a creator being.
It's no small thing.
It's no small thing.
This is really, really huge. Before we go too much further, we have one more point to consider about
Most important, too.
Yeah, this is the most important one. And it was mentioned a few times.
Well, it was more than just a few. It was a lot.
It was all over the place.
It was a lot.
And
A lot.
It was a lot. And what it was is people were saying that we're adorable.
Yeah.
And we are.
We are.
We are. You're right. We are adorable. And it's really easy to say that about old people, I suppose, that we're adorable, but we're awesome too.
You know how old people, when they get older, they say they kind of revert back to being like children. Children are adorable.
Yeah.
This is the kind of adorable that it's just a gift. You know, it's just a gift, and it's a gift for everybody, because when we're being who we are, the glorious, wonderful beings we are adorable.
That's right. That's why you said that we're, those of you who did say it.
Yes. Who have the spiritual vision.
They have the understanding.
Oh,
the perception, the amazing perception to see that we are adorable.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was something that was. Or something that happens because of me, happens because of Chris, that stimulated something to where you said we're adorable, and I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, you know what?
Go ahead.
You can't see something know something that isn't true of you.
That's true. That's absolutely true. So you're adorable.
You adorable group of wonderful
And even those
people.
of you who didn't say we're adorable, I think you're adorable.
Yeah, you're all adorable.
All of you.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm wondering, is there anything else?
No, I don't think so.
So,
Go
ahead.
Here we go. Okay.
Well, what am I supposed to do about this guy? So it's like we ended our last video, I think, in a similar way, which is to ask a question of all of you that if you like what we're saying, what we're talking about, and I guess specifically what I really want to address is if there's something that you're working with that is maybe a challenge, you have a big question around it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not perfect. We haven't got it all figured out. We don't have it all wired.
No.
I mean, we're in process just like you are. We all are. But we've been through what we've been through in our lives, possibly a few more years, maybe, whatever.
Lots.
But we have a different perspective possibly on something, and it could be useful or helpful. If you've got a question, let us know, and we'd be happy to address it.
Yeah.
And we're open to talk about all kinds of topics.
And if we don't know, we'll pretend.
yeah. We need more of that, don't we?
No, if we don't know, we won't. We're not going to pretend to say, "Oh, well, I know this." Even if I don't, I'm not going to do that. That's
like the whole
lying.
the whole channeling thing. I'll tell you what. As soon as I know how to do it, I'll let you know. So, since this is going to be on Higher Self, I think there's a button there to subscribe, because that's one of the other comments that we received. A lot of people are saying, please do it more. There's more videos. So, if you like what we're doing, hit the subscribe button and post your comments. And you just reminded me of something. 111 on the clock.
Oh, yeah.
That's
you guys
happening
know about
all
that
over
stuff,
the place.
right?
It's like,
For years.
Why did I see that, right? What drew me over to, why did I see that? It's important for some reason, and I don't know why.
At least it feels cool.
It feels cool, and it happens all the time. So, we're open to constructive criticism too. You don't have to just always like us or say we're adorable. We're not saying that we want you to just start dumping all over us, but we're open to hear what?
I don't mind it.
All the adorable stuff?
Yeah, bring it on.
So direct all of your adorable to him.
No.
Okay,
No,
so
I agree with what you're saying.
So we're open to constructive criticism too, and for God's sake, if we're going to be real, we have to be.
We have to be real.
Yeah.
And so, if I take the stance or I take the perspective that I'm not open for constructive criticism, then who is it that's talking there? It's the ego, and I'm not interested in continuing the ego experience. I want that to all be transmuted.
Yep.
So there's truly what we talked about, that clear opening, that clear window for Creator. Who we are, that's who we really are. By the way, to some degree, I channel Creator. Because that's who we are.
That's who we are, right?
Yeah.
We're all expressions
Yeah.
of Creator.
I mean, we're incredible. If you think about it, why would we... I don't say this to be critical to anybody who channels, but why would you want to channel somebody else when you can channel the creator of yourself?
Yeah.
The magnificence of who you are.
Yeah, well, and the people who do channel the higher dimensional beings,
fine.
it's really useful.
Yeah, it is. It's like
really,
we need teachers. We need teachers.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I need them.
So we're not. Please don't take that the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't.
So I just want to say again, we are in the midst.
We're in it.
We're in it, and it's not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't think it's ever going to stop. And as we get used to this process, we'll get used to it.
Yeah, and the more of us there are who are getting accustomed to this and getting used to it, the more we can provide a stabilizing influence in the mass consciousness, and this whole thing can work out so much more smoothly for everybody, and that is so vital.
Yeah, and just throw this out. We've had some nutty, amazing experiences.
Yeah.
And in the right setting, the right time, maybe we'll be able to share some of that with you.
Yeah.
It's caused a transmutation in my experience where I have now become a holy man. You can tell from this, right? I'm a high priest. Oh, I'm a high priest, so enough of that. All right, what do you think?
Yeah. All right, guys.
Thanks for watching,
Yeah.
and look forward to seeing you again.
Blessings to you, and let the love rip. Let it radiate.
Yep, and we love you. Bye.